Episode 9 is said to have tons of twists and turns as well as surprises by writer and director J.J. Abrams in Episode 9. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of fans are really looking forward to seeing in this film is that J.J. Abrams will be offering tons of revelations for all of the characters in this movie that will change our perception on both The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with a major hint and/or indicator of Finn's real name in Episode 9. Specifically, a description of Finn, Poe, and Rey all teaming up against a group of stormtroopers on a battlefield, with Rey wielding an ignited lightsaber, Poe holding a blaster pistol, and Finn holding a blaster rifle with a scope on it. The next goes over Finn taking the lead with Rey and Poe backing him up, the sequence in which describes Sam invades the trenches of the First Order. The sequence is described to have heavy tones of D-Day from World War II, with the First Order having trenches on the battlefield and a large base with blaster cannons shooting down on the battlefield. The next describes a sequence as Sam activates the detonators, with a description of the Finn character blowing open a door and taking out stormtroopers in rage. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this that really do pique my interest for the character of Finn. Now, like I say, I'm a big fan of the character of Finn in The Force Awakens. In The Last Jedi, I really did have a lot of problems with character. You know, the character in The Last Jedi / Episode 8, I didn't really enjoy the character as much as I did in The Force Awakens. See, the great thing about The Force Awakens is that there was a lot of mystery as to where this character was really going. So going into Episode 9 now, there is a huge hint and/or indicator here that his real name is indeed actually Sam, as opposed to Finn. So what's really interesting is that, I don't know if you guys recall this, many years ago, it was like back in 2014, is that they actually had the ideas for Finn to actually be called Thomas in Star Wars The Force Awakens. So there are a lot of ideas in place as to exactly what they should really call Finn in Star Wars Episode 9 and in the entire sequel trilogy itself. You know, it's quite funny, a lot of people forget, including myself, I forget this sometimes too, that Finn really isn't Finn. Poe Dameron literally named the character Finn inside of the TIE Fighter because he's called FN-2187. So he used a real actual name in order to make it sound similar to what he was already used to being called by the First Order. So with that being said, you know, Episode 9 with Finn being called Sam in this trench run sequence where he's running through these trenches, he's destroying blaster doors, taking out stormtroopers in a real World War II D-Day style, I'm really digging this. But the name Sam, I'm not quite sure how I feel about the name of Sam for the character of Finn. I don't know how you guys feel about this. Do you think it really does seem like that Finn looks like a Sam? Or does he look more like a Thomas, like the original name that he was going to have in Episode 7, The Force Awakens? So, with J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio coming on board, we do know that they are also going to be delivering a lot of these explanations to identities of Snoke, Rey, and Finn in Episode 9. This, however, definitely does fit directly in just with that, is that Finn's real name will be a part of Episode 9 as well as his identity. You know, we do know that in The Force Awakens he was taken from a family he'll never know, and that his actual identity is hidden from him on purpose. Now, what's really intriguing to me is that we do know that the First Order is going to be treated in a different way in Episode 9. There's a lot of theories floating around out there that we may very well get a reverse Order 66, where all the stormtroopers learn about their real identities and their real names, and then that's when Finn leads an army of stormtroopers. That's a big theory right now, and honestly, I could see that happening. But as far as Finn learning his real name, that we're not quite sure exactly how that happens. Just in this specific sequence, and the description of this sequence, it mentions Sam actually invading the First Order trenches and blowing open one of the blast doors in order to take out some of the troopers using that gun on the battlefield in rage. for the characters when it comes to their true identities in this movie. So the next thing that I really do want to go over is how this sequence does have a lot of D-Day tones to it, which honestly I am really loving, because if you guys have ever seen, you know, a lot of movies out there centered on World War II, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, the Normandy sequence. So this actual sequence has a lot of inspirational pieces from the Battle of Normandy, and that to me sounds truly stunning and just truly exciting that J.J. Abrams is kind of just putting in real life elements into a Star Wars film like that. And World War II, World War I, you know, all those battles, we've seen them be a part of the Star Wars universe for the longest time. But now JJ is really taking it to the next level for sure. As far as Finn goes, guys, I have high hopes for this character in this movie. We do know that, you know, John Boyega has promised before on Twitter that we're really in for a big ride for the character. We're in for a lot of surprises for this character, and that fans really are going to be blown away. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.